Alright guys, welcome back once again to Redstone for Dummies. This time we are reviewing the /trigger command. It's basically a follow-up from the previous video about the scoreboard command. If you did not see that video about the scoreboard, I highly suggest you guys to go and check it out. There is a link right here. You can just click right here. There's also a link in the description below the video to go check it out. Again, I highly suggest you guys to check it out before watching this video. So assuming you've seen it, let's first take a look at the poster that's gonna explain how the syntax for the trigger command works. Here it is. You can see the whole poster is right here. We're gonna use two different commands. One that is part of the scoreboard command right over here, and then the actual trigger command, which is right here. So first off, we've got to create an objective. Again, assuming you've seen the video about the scoreboard, I'm just going to create an objective called test trigger, which will be of type trigger. So now that is done, let's set its display as the sidebar on the right, and then we'll talk about the actual command itself. Alright, let's go back to the poster. How does the trigger command works exactly? First off, you have to use this command alongside an objective of type trigger, obviously. Now this /trigger command will allow you to add point to this objective or set point to the objective. Here's how the syntax for the command works. It starts with /trigger, then you have to add the objective's name. And then you have two options, add or set. Then the value you want to set or add to the objective, and then you press enter. So that's how the command works. The thing is, if I try doing that right now, it will not work. Let's try it just for fun. Alright, so let's start with /trigger, the objective's name, which is test trigger, and then set or add. I'm gonna just try set. Then let's set it to 10. Boom, it doesn't work. It's saying invalid trigger name test trigger. Here's the thing, for the command to work, you have to enable the trigger command using a command that's part of the scoreboard command. So here's how it gets kind of more complex. You have to use a command that's part of the scoreboard. Here it is, /scoreboard players enable. That's the one I hadn't talked about in the previous video because it's part of the trigger command. So again, enable player's name, objective's name again of type trigger, then press enter. That will enable the trigger command, which will allow the player to use the command to add or set its point for the objective. Now let's try it. Let's enable the command. So it's gonna go like this. /scoreboard players enable player's name, for me it's Joyamak, and then objective's name, again test trigger. Press enter. Let's do it. /scoreboard players enable my name, objective's name, then enter. Now the command has been enabled. If we go back and use the command we used before to try to set our point to 10, it should technically work. Let's try it. So here it is, /trigger test trigger set 10. Press enter, and there you go. You can see on the scoreboard on the right hand side we've got a point value of 10 for the objective. Alright, so let's say we would like to set our point to something else. If we were to try it right now, it will not work. Let's try it. /trigger objective name, and then set, let's say 7. It doesn't work. Every time you use the trigger command, it will afterward disable the trigger option. So it will not work 2 times in a row. You have to use every single time the enable command that's part of the scoreboard to enable it before using the trigger command, if that makes any sense. So again, I cannot use trigger 2 times in a row. It will not work. Here in this command block, I have the command that will enable the trigger command every time I press the button right here. So here it is, /scoreboard players enable Joyamak test trigger. Now if I press this button here and I try to set my points to 7, now it should work. There it is, it did work. That's great. And if I want to use it again, doesn't work. But if I press the button here and change the value to 79, there you go, it works. So again, you have to enable the command every time you want to use it, using the command that's part of the scoreboard, which is kind of awkward, but that's how it works and that's how it will work. So again, you have to use the scoreboard command that's gonna allow you to enable the trigger, and then you can use the trigger command. So that's pretty much how the command works. I just want to mention one thing. The trigger command only works if it's used by a player. So if I were to, let's say, use this command block to use the trigger command, it will not work. So let's try it. /trigger and then the objective name, which is test trigger, let's say set to 5 points. Press OK. Alright, it should technically work, usually. So let's first of all enable the command. There you go, it's enabled. And if I want to set my points to 5, I press here. It does nothing. And the message in the command block here says only players can use the trigger command, which is kind of a pain, but that's how the command works. You cannot use the trigger command in a command block. It has to be used by a player. I can't really see a good use for this, but if you guys have any, just let me know in the comment section below. And besides that, I do think that this is pretty much everything you guys need to know about this command. It's really cool. Can't say it's really useful, but again, I don't really know all the things you can use these commands for. So besides that, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, but again, please just like it at least if you enjoyed the video. And also, all the links for my Facebook page and my Twitter page are in the description below. Feel free to go and check that out. And also, don't forget, you can download this poster using the first link you'll see in the description below. And again, thanks for watching. Have a good day.